Appropriation versus appreciation. Where's the line? So, just what is appropriation and appreciation? So, appreciation is when someone wants to understand and learn about a culture to widen their perspective and connect with others cross-culturally, whereas appropriation is the act of taking historically and culturally significant elements from another, without the understanding of these elements and using them for your own interest. In the world of music, this is often seen as taking another culture's dance, dress, music, folklore, or religious symbols and using them within their song lyrics or their music videos. So there's a range of artists globally that have been found to participate in these cultural appropriation acts, often called out by their audiences. But before we get into examples, I just want to explain the colourblind ideology, which refers to the assertion of essential sameness between racial and ethical groups despite unequal social locations and distinctive histories. So this ideology is used to deny inequality in social situations and explains how white people interpret racialized cultural symbols in a way to undermine their racially coded character, reducing race to less than an innocuous cultural signifier. So this ideology suggests that the appropriation of black culture, such as hip-hop cultural forms, is not that whites don't want a black identity, but rather that they just want the characteristics of blackness. This ideology comes into play looking at the first example, which is appropriation of Ariana Grande. So she received backlash after a single 7 Rings having the same flows and just vibe of her songs to Princess Nokia and Soulja Boy, who are black rappers, as well as having some similarities to 2 Chainz song Spend It. So coming into the use of colourblind ideology, audiences have noticed that her slang and spray tan are becoming a way for her as a white artist to profit from that black aesthetic, in a way to just project an edge without any associated struggle. Moving on to our second example, which is appreciation, we have the Japanese Chicano subculture, which came over from the lowrider movement that was popular in the US. And then at that time in the 1990s, gangs and cholos from the US were actually imported as a culture to Japan. So Japanese women are embracing this culture as a way to escape Japan's normative restrictions for women, and becoming a way of life to represent resilience and freedom from that restrictive Japanese society. The reason this one's appreciation over appropriation is that the Japanese people keep the culture authentic to the Mexican culture, and as they have people over in Japan, they're learning and adapting from them. So just a short conclusion, there's no definite answer for the line between appreciation and appropriation, but it's most often intention. So the intention when taking elements, whether they want to use it for their own game or to represent something, comes into play, as music is a way to present identity, and a lot of these cultures, such as Bollywood artists, use these ways as a way to represent themselves and their identity on a global scale, sharing their cultures to the rest of the world. And then just the resources I used, some of my main ones.